Hello, Broncos. I'm Jack Mennicke.
And I'm Eddie Rosenthal.
And we will be your hosts for Four Core Sports, where we dive into the delectable world of WMU Sports. Today we'll be talking about WMU men's basketball and how they've done so far and what's to come for them.
Let's move right into the appetizers. So the Broncos currently have a 10-17 overall record and a 7-7 record in the MAC. They've won their last 2 games, but they lost 8 of their previous 9 before that. They've got 4 games remaining, and they're 5 games back of first place in the MAC.
Yeah, so that 2-game win streak is really doing numbers for them because, losing 8 of your last 9 is not something you want to stand by.
No, especially because we started 3-0
yeah.
in the MAC.
We started 3-0 in the MAC, and then we lost 8 of 9, and then we were 1-2 straight. So
yeah, we're still hanging right in there.
Yep.
For a MAC playoff spot.
All right, let's move on to the main course where we talk a little bit more about the MAC. Like we said, WMU's in 7th place in the MAC standings with a 7-7 record. Akron is in first with a 12-2 conference record. And then it kind of goes down the line from there. Toledo, they're 1 game behind. CMU is 2 games behind. Ohio is 3 games behind. Bowling Green is 4 games behind. And then Miami and us are 5 games behind. Miami has a 7-7 record as well. But they're ahead of us because of winning percentage, because that's how the tiebreakers work in the MAC. When looking at possible outcomes for the Broncos, it's not even possible for the Broncos to get a 1 or 2 seed because of tiebreakers and because there's only 4 games left. To get 3rd, we would have to win out. CMU would have to lose out. Ohio would have to go 1-3 or worse. Bowling Green would have to go 2-2 or worse. Miami would have to go 3-1 or worse. It's a lot has to go right for the Broncos to get that 3 seed. It's much more feasible for the Broncos to earn a 4 or 6 spot at best. But on the other side of that, it could get ugly.
Yeah, on the other side, nothing is guaranteed yet, so it's still possible for us to miss the MAC tournament altogether. Kent State is currently in 8th place. They're sitting right on the edge of the tournament with a 6-8 conference record, while Ball State is right behind them with a 5-9 record. Both teams have a much better outside, just overall record than the Broncos. So if we were to have a tied conference record, they would have the tiebreaker over us. And even in 10th place is Eastern Michigan with a 4-10 conference record, and they could sneak by us if they have a nice little win streak down the line here.
And then talking about the sides, I want to talk a little about Seth Hubbard and how the Broncos have used him recently. He's the Broncos' leading scorer, but over the past couple games, he's struggled. In his 3 games ago, before this 2-game win streak, he shot just, 2 of 14 from the field. So the Broncos and Dwayne Stevens decided to move him to the bench. And for these past 2 games, he's averaged 18.5 points off the bench. Javon Hayne has taken his place, and it's proved to work out pretty well for the Broncos. Seemingly so, because they've won 2 with him coming off the bench.
Yeah, it might just be a lineup thing. Hubbard might just be a little bit more comfortable with that lineup off the bench. So
right, and I think teams were game planning for him in the starting lineup more so than they would in the bench. So moving to the bench gives him a little bit more breathing room and a little bit more space to operate with that bench unit.
Absolutely. So right into the dessert. Like we said, Western has only 4 games left. They're against Eastern Michigan, Ball State, Bowling Green, and Akron, respectively, down the line. All 4 games have pretty heavy implications on the end of the season, and Eastern Michigan, Bowling Green, and Ball State all sit right around us in record, so they are even larger games.
And you were saying before, Akron is ranked 13 right now, or they would get a 13 seed in the NCAA tournament, and that's our last game, so that's kind of a tough way to close out your season going against a team of that caliber.
Yeah, definitely. They're going to be pushing to win the MAC and get a higher playoff seed or a higher tournament seed, rather.
So the Broncos sure have some work cut out for them ahead. But the MAC tournament, if we are to make that, if we can get a 1-8 seed, will be from March 14th through 16th. So make sure, if we make that, to follow along with us, the Western Herald, or watch however you can.
This has been Four Core Sports, your dive into the delectable world of WMU Sports. I've been Eddie Rosenthal.
And I've been Jack Mennicke.
And thank you for watching.
Go Broncos!